All right, let's get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Dr. Sina Bari. I am a plastic and reconstructive surgeon, and I lead the medical division here at iMerit as the Director of Medical AI. I'm joined today with the brilliant Gokul Earl, who is our Director of Technology. Full disclosure here, my headshot is AI generated. Gokul, on the other hand, is just naturally handsome.
Hey, everyone.
We are going to be, hey, Gokul. We are going to be talking a little bit about iMerit and specifically what we do in our medical division. And then I'm going to be going over some of the features of our new Radiology Annotation Product Suite before jumping into a demo, and then we'll have some time for questions and answers at the end. iMerit is a tech-enabled data services company specializing in large-scale data operations for machine learning and AI applications. So what that means is we bring together the tools, the people, and the processes to train machine learning algorithms. We work on a range of different domains, including automotive, agriculture, e-commerce, and healthcare. We have 5,000 employees with 8 centers in India and Bhutan, and 1 center in the United States. Within healthcare, we support a range of applications, both on the clinical side for images and text, such as radiology, pathology, endoscopy, and even large language models. But also on the operational side, with intelligent process automation and document AI. Our vision is really centered around precision intelligence. That is, we try to leverage our experience working in other domains to industrialize the processes necessary for large-scale data operations and bring that together with the subject matter expertise that's necessary for healthcare applications. Today, we've been fortunate to be identified as a leader in the space, and have had the opportunity to work with some of the largest and most innovative healthcare companies. As all of us in healthcare know, that starts with data security. So we're proud to meet and exceed the most stringent standards using a combination of software, hardware, and personnel training safeguards. For that purpose, the platform that we're going to show is really built from the ground up with the ideas, with the needs of the healthcare industry in mind. So that includes options for single tenancy and geofencing. I encourage folks that are interested in the details of our security apparatus to contact us for a full list of our standard operating procedures. That by itself could really be its own talk. Within that security framework, I'm excited to talk today about our product suite, which includes sourcing, structuring, and then ultimately validating radiologic data. So our mission when we developed this platform was threefold. One, we wanted to support our clients' data needs from whatever step they were in the ML journey. So from sourcing to tooling to expertise, and then finally to regulatory validation. And then 2, we wanted to bring the performance of desktop tools such as IPK Snap, a 3D slicer, to a full feature secure platform. And then lastly, we wanted to facilitate scaling by enabling collaboration between multiple levels of annotators and multiple parties, both with our teams and with our client teams. So what we've seen through our almost 10 years of experience in the space is that the data side of machine learning really needs to work hand in glove with the model ops side. And so that's really how we structure our approach, so that there is that relationship and that integration throughout the entire product cycle, from problem identification all the way into testing the model in the real world. So for us, that starts with sourcing data from our network, whether that's in bulk to augment our clients' training data sets, or whether that's curated down to the level of clinical background or demographics, or even acquisition hardware. So GoCulp is going to show us around the tool in a little bit. And then we're going to have a second session that focuses just on automation. But we have two core ideas that I want to touch on first. One is that we try to incorporate, having worked 10 years in the space and really worked on all of the different tools, we really wanted to incorporate the best features for admins, for annotators, and for our clients. And that's really what we tried to integrate into our tool. And then two, we wanted to lead the way into the future with automation, customization, and modularity. So alongside our tool, we have teams of experts that range from US and abroad radiologists, as well as second-level providers and specialized teams that we train on narrow but deep subject matter expertise using our internal medical school. And one of the sort of core features of our tool is this communication between these different levels as a strategy to scaling using what we call hybrid workflows. This approach has allowed us to successfully support our clients, taking their solutions through 510(k) clearance for a range of different modalities and different applications, including diagnostics, echocardiography, maternal fetal medicine, and breast cancer, as well as dentistry, and this is just a sub list of the different things that we've had a chance to work on. So now we're going to jump into the demo, and then we'll have time for Q&A after that. While GoCulp pulls up his computer, I will say that you can reach out to us at medical@imerit.net. Over to you, GoCulp.
Thank you so much, Sina. Hello, everyone. Again, welcome. So this is going to be the fun part. Sorry, Sina. So I will just jump into the demo, and I will show you how to access the platform. So first of all, since this is the first webinar of our medical suite, I will try to give you a high level of overview of the features available right now. And we will talk about more advanced features in the next webinar that we are planning. After the webinar, you can also create your own free account and play with the platform as you wish. And you can access the platform via iMerit's website. So I'm going to quickly show you how to access it if you want to try yourself. So when you click this try platform, so you will be redirected to the platform. Perfect. So first of all, Ango Hub is all-in-one data annotation suite for medical. When you click on the sample projects and scroll down here, so you will see different use cases that we are supporting for healthcare. And for example, you can annotate 3D data like NRRD and NIFTY files, which are mostly used for MRI and CT scan. You can also annotate your medical records like PDF or text format. You can annotate your ultrasound data available in multi-frame DICOM files or MP4 files. Or you can annotate your X-rays, which are available maybe in DICOM, PNG, JPEG, or TIFF files. So all of these different data formats are all supported in the single platform. So for the sake of demo, I will use these for sample projects, and you can also use them in your free account. And let's load these samples. Perfect. These are loaded. But before jumping into them, I also want to show you how to set up a project from scratch. So in order to do that, you need to just click here. Let's create a sample project. Perfect. So in our platform, we have different roles, as Sina mentioned. So we have admin, labeler, and reviewer. So every role has different access to the platform and different functionalities they can do. So first of all, I will show you the pages. First of all, I will start with the admin role, then I will jump into the labeler and reviewer roles. After you create an empty project, basically there are three things that you need to do to start the project. First one, the taxonomy. So you need to define which tools you want to use in your labeling projects and which questions you want to ask to the annotators on the editor. So you can set up these settings from this add category section. And here's our tools, classifications, and relations, as you can see here. So according to your need, you can just select anything and start the project. For example, just for the sake of demo, I selected bounding box and polygon. And one of the good things about our platform is, since you can see that there are different classifications, options like radio button, checkbox, single dropdown, multiple dropdown, and all of these classifications are also available in a nested format, which means that you can just ask radio questions under the tools, for example. So after drawing a bounding box, for example, you can also ask any question related to that bounding box, which enables us to create really complex category schemas and taxonomies without hassling with the other stuff, which also really speeds up the annotation process since it looks pretty easy to the annotators and reviewer eyes. Let's say we set up our category schema, then the next thing we need to do is to set up the workflow. As you can see here, every data available in this project will follow these nodes until they are complete. By default, we provide a single label workflow, but you can add multiple review stages for the medical experts, for example. If your annotation project requires a high quality annotation in medical specifically, you can add multiple review stages to the workflow by just dragging and dropping these steps. And you can assign your experts specifically only these steps, and they will be reviewing all the data flowing through this workflow. And of course, if you don't want to put too much burden on your experts, so you want to make some sub-sampling and just apply some conditions, for example, you can use this logic section here, and you can just select the specific annotation types or random sampling to just make this data flow to different paths. Let's say only the 10% of the data should be sent to the expert review. So you can just easily set up here. After the labeling stage, let's connect to the logic, and the 10% of the data should be sent to review. And maybe the rest can be sent to the internal review. Let's say this is QC2. And if they have been rejected, they can go to the labeler one, like this. And if the second review rejected, it can also go to the labeler one. So this workflow is fully customizable according to your needs. So you can set up any workflow and start your project right away. And of course, these are not the only functions that we are providing in this workflow. You can also set up a consensus feature to gather multiple answers from different annotators at the same time. And automatically, all the answers, all the bounding boxes, all the drawings, all the answers will be automatically calculated in terms of the IOU score or the other metrics. And these metrics can be set up here, for example, if you have some certain thresholds which you would like to see on the output of the data. So you can just set up these thresholds, and if the threshold is not met, you can just send the data to another review stage. So all of these items are configurable right from the workflow. And of course, without annotation, actually, it is not possible to annotate anything anymore. So you can also just directly integrate your internal or public or private models right into this workflow by using this plugin section. So by using, we have a plugin marketplace that you can just select anything and you can just create your own plugins. For example, you can just use the SAM model, which Facebook just recently released, and integrate it directly into this workflow, or you can have your own internal models that you develop. You can also integrate everything to the workflow and just set up this project. Okay, perfect. So we can just go to the other section. Let's say our workflow is ready, save it. And as the final step, of course, we need to ingest data. So when it comes to data upload, we are providing several different options. Of course, drag and drop is available. So you can just upload data from your local machine. But mostly what we are using for the medical is directly integrating with external storage methods like AWS and Google GCP. And Azure is also on the way. So you can just connect your private buckets available in these vendors to the project and upload all of the data in just a second. Because as we know, when it comes to the radiology, the data sizes are really huge. So it can go up to the gigabytes of data just a single asset may have. So in these cases, you don't have to deal with any data transfer at all. So you can just connect your S3 bucket or GCP bucket and it will be uploaded immediately. And of course, data security is crucial for every stage of annotation cycle. This is why we have implemented all of our features with the best security practices in mind. To give you an example, whenever you upload data from your local machine or from your AWS or GCP buckets, for example, our servers don't see the data at all at any time. So the data directly sent to the private and encrypted buckets. And when the annotator wants to label the data, this is the only time the data is being downloaded to the browser. And then it is deleted. So this is actually how we are protecting your data. So your data doesn't even go to our servers at all. And we don't, of course, pre-process or post-process your data. The annotators can see them via find URLs during the annotation. So at this point, so I want to show you what the annotators and the reviewers see during the annotation lifecycle. So I will just start with the medical records annotation. Let's jump into the interface. So these are already populated with sample data and annotations on it. So just to save some time. So you can see that this is our native PDF annotation interface. So you can open up any PDF here directly. And it can go up to the 30, 40, 50 pages. It's not gonna matter for us. And in this editor, we are providing bounding boxes. And in these bounding boxes, we are also providing OCR, character recognition, automated character recognition methods, so that you can extract any data within this box and you can just group them together, ask more questions. This is really useful if you wanna do document annotation. Let's go to the other one. So yeah, that was document annotation, and let's go with the X-ray. So this is our image editor, let's say it. So in this image editor, as I said before, the PNG, TIFF, and single DICOM are all supported. And of course, as you can see here, we are right now labeling segmentation or polygons, but also we can label bounding boxes, points, polylines, and relations, group relations, single relations. So every tool is possible in this interface. And as I mentioned before, we have a plugin structure which you can connect any external model directly into the editor and also the workflow. So you already saw how it is going to be integrated into the workflow. But if you want to use your external models to speed up the annotation process, you can also just integrate them and it will be available from this section so that you can run it. The annotator can run the model anytime with the given thresholds or the parameters. So the results will be available on the screen right away. And of course, the collaboration is one of the most important tools that we are using in the production of every type of annotation project. And in order to provide this collaboration, the issue tool is playing a huge role. Of course, this issue tool provides collaboration between different roles within the project. And as you can see, you can just open up any issue with the position on any data. It can be also PDF, and it can be also other data types that I will show you in a couple of minutes. So you can just, for example, mention also your manager name, and I have a problem. For example, you can write anything here, and right away, the manager will be notified automatically, and they can also answer the questions that the annotators or the reviewer have. So this is really useful when it comes to the really huge production projects. Sorry, by the way, because of the Zoom tools, I'm having trouble to click on something. Okay. Perfect. So it was X-ray. Now it is the ultrasound. So right now, as you can see here, we are opening a DICOM file here, and this DICOM file includes 37 frames in it. And this, when you open up this DICOM file, you can see this is really similar to the image editor that I showed you, but at the bottom, we have a timeline. The main reason here is that we are enabling interpolation in this ultrasound data. It can be, again, DICOM, multi-frame DICOM that you see right now, or it can be an MP4 file. So both of the, or it can be MOV file. So any video file that is supported by the browser will be available in the editor. So you can just upload your data and start annotating right away. And since we are dealing with time sequences, so we don't have to label every frame manually. So instead, we can leverage our linear interpolation method to speed up the process. For example, all these dots represents the keyframes that I did manually on this ultrasound data. Maybe first of all, let's run this one. Yeah. And let's go from the keyframes. Perfect. You can see that for right now, for every frame, I did a manual annotation. But after that, for example, I skipped like 4 frames and just labeled this one. And these middle frames will be automatically filled by our algorithm. So you can see that these are actually automatically generated so that you don't have to spend too much time on it. So again, the same thing. So all these middle annotations are just interpolated automatically. You can see. So when it comes to ultrasound, the interpolation plays a huge role. So this is really important. So this is why I want to mention. And as I told you before, we are supporting points, bounding boxes, polygons, segmentations, everything also in the video editor. And you can use them here on ultrasound data as well. Perfect. And last but not least, so the NRRD annotation. Actually, this is the one which we think the most difficult technically to put it into the browser in a performant way. Because what you see on the screen is like we have a MRI scan of the upper body. So you are looking at the data from 3 different perspectives. And right now in the screen, we have, I guess, up to 30 million pixels. And when it comes to these huge amount of data, rendering, you can see here, rendering these images in real time and providing a smooth annotation experience is really difficult because we are dealing with a limited amount of resources in the browser. So we need to optimize these type of things to just make their lives easier, the annotators, reviewers, and the experts' life easier. So this is why we are giving too much focus on the performance of this tool. And you can see that we have brush tools on the left side, which are pixel-based tools. And you can see the categories here. Of course, we made the annotations as just demo purposes. So if you see any problem with that, just sorry, because we are technical team in this kind of creating this kind of annotations. So sorry for that. And as I told you before, so you can just select your tool and start annotating. But since we are dealing with three-dimensional data, so there are different couple of features needed to perform it well. For example, right now you can see that when I draw a region here like this one, so the same region, the same annotation, same segmentation should be reflected into the other domains as well, other views as well. And you can see that in the sagittal view on the bottom right section, you can see where is my brush with the yellow highlight. So these type of small things are really important. For example, right now I'm drawing a bottom, and you can see the blue line is kind of getting lower and lower. And of course, all of the automation process also being used in the 3D annotation editor. But we can also provide different automation methods directly available in the platform to speed up the process. For example, of course, first of all, we are providing color windowing, which is crucial, which is a must for the radiology, so that you can just play with the color sections, color settings of this data, because as we all know, the color scale is really high when it comes to the radiology, and it is not possible to show every different scale in the screen. So this is why actually we are trying to normalize things and just show it, show the hidden ones. So you can just play with this one manually, or you can just the presets that we already put into the tool, like the soft tissue, bone, brain, lung, liver. So everything is already here. Let's go back to the default settings. So this window tool is really important. And of course, we are providing thresholds. So by using threshold, you can just set up a range, minimum and maximum range, and all the pixels that are sitting in this range, between this range, will be painted to the specific tool you select, for example, here. So this threshold is pretty useful if you wanna make the annotations in the 3D environments, if there is a high contrast between the other sections of the body, for example. So this is really handy. And of course, we are providing smoothing. So when it comes to smoothing, basically, there may be some hard edges that you draw on the data, and you can just smooth them out by using these presets that available on the platform. Like right now, we have median, closing, and opening, and you can also set up the kernel sizes here with height, depth. And I assume if you ever played with the 3D Slicer or ITK Snap, you are already familiar with this kind of features. But I want to just show them if you don't have any experience. So these are pretty handy when it comes to the high scale annotations, because a single MRI scan can go up to the 10 hours, 12 hours to complete. And this type of tools and the automation is really crucial. And of course, the other items are the borders. I'm not gonna get into too much detail. And of course, we have a crosshair functionality. So you can see which pixel you are looking at from different views, the sagittal, coronal, axial, all of the same time. And of course, the 3D visualization of what you draw on the screen is one of the most important ones, because otherwise you cannot visualize, if you cannot visualize the annotation segmentation in 3D environments, it is really difficult to detect the problems on the data. So this is why we are also enabling this 3D visualization right in the platform. And you can just zoom in, zoom out, do whatever you want with the 3D visualization. And if you wanna see, if you see a problem with the data, for example, still the crosshair tool is also available for 3D. And you can just point out and see where the problem is, and you can just fix the issue by looking at here, for example. So this is the new data actually I added a couple of minutes ago. So all of them are, you can see here, you can just go through all the data. So yeah, this is pretty important when it comes to review. And of course, I talk about the collaboration tool, especially the issue mechanism. So we are also providing issue mechanism for the 3D environments, 3D annotation. And in order to use that, you can just select issue. And let's say there is a problem with this area. You can just draw a circle and say it is a problem. And since we have lots of different frames, so it may not be easy to find the issues, but when you just open that issue section and just click on it, so it will just directly jump into the issue, and the annotator and the reviewer and the expert can collaborate easily right on the screen without switching. So yeah, I also want to show you a couple of project level features. So you already seen the settings, the taxonomy, for example. This is for this sample. And of course, you can add members to your project. So we have the roles that we told you before. So we have general features. I'm not gonna go into too much detail. And for the export, so you can just get your export anytime you want. And if you are working with the NRRD data, so all the exports will be provided in NRRD format or Nifty format. And if you are working for 4D data, like the if you have different modalities, so all of the conversions are done by our site, so that you can just get the annotations and start working on your model quickly. And this is the issue section. You already seen the workflow. This is the asset. And when it comes to metrics, actually, so you can see overview and performance metrics related to the projects. So right now, since I don't have any annotator on my projects, it's blank, but normally you can see how many labels the annotators or the reviewers performed, and the average labeling time, average review time, all the information is available. You can just download them. And of course, for the overview, you can just see the duration and task progress, like how many tasks are in which stage. You can see all of these metrics easily with a single page. So yeah, I guess this is the brief summary. What do you say, Sina? Should we go to the Q&A section?
Yeah, I think that's a really good overview. And I think, you know, the advanced features that we talked about, we can break into a second session just in the interest of time. But I'm excited to hear what people think and if there are any questions.
By the way, there will be a webinar poll on the screen. If you can also answer those, it would be we would be really happy. There's a question from, yeah.
Yeah, I can cover that. So we have different tiers of annotators at different price points, and we try to match that to the complexity of the project. And they range everywhere from specialized teams that are trained by experts. Say if you want to do something that's relatively simple, has a high signal to noise ratio, low to moderate complexity, and limited cognitive load, then and you have high volumes of data, we can train a team. And so we've done that for, say, echocardiography, where even something fairly complex as cardiac function, we have a team that goes through a couple of weeks of curriculum and really understands all of the different parts of the heart in order to label valves and chamber measurements. And then that works with teams that are either second level, so those are medical school graduates typically, and then our sort of highest level is subspecialists, so radiologists, even radiologists with fellowship experience. depending on whether or not it's for training data or validation purposes. We can work with offshore or even dual shore approaches, and a lot of that is really facilitated by the tool coordinating between those different levels of annotators. But it's a good question.
So maybe I can answer Rishikesh question. So Rishikesh, when you create an account just for trial purposes, you will have a limit of 5 seats. So you can invite 5 of your members for just trial purposes. And in order to invite them, you can just go to the organization section, and there is an invite member button. You can write down any email address you want, and they will receive an invitation mail right away.
We do a lot of work in ultrasound. I think that's one of the hardest modalities to scale because each frame of video can hold a lot of data, and so our multi-tiered and collaborative approach, bringing together different levels of annotators, I think is really well suited to that. But within the diagnostic space and within the pharmaceutical space, we also work with CT and MRI quite a bit as well. It looks like there's another question about multimodal applications. This is an area we're seeing a lot of growth, and so our tools are built with multimodal applications in mind, so that there's a degree of configurability and modularity where we can work with a lot of different data types. So we're seeing that with tuning LLMs, doing both RLHF and summarization that incorporates video data, radiologic data, imaging data, as well as text data. And so, yes, we are able to support that. So we have a lot of questions. So we'll go through these in order. Do you want to jump in on this next one?
Yeah, sure.
Go.
So given the size of files, are there storage fees? So basically, when it comes to NRD and NIfTY files, which can go up to the gigabytes of data, if you are using your own private storage, which means that we are not transferring data to our data storage or servers, in that case, we are not charging you any fee. But if you are using our own storages, like if you want to work with the iMerit with us, and if you just send your data to our S3 buckets, in that case, of course, there will be some storage fees, but we can discuss the details if you have. Sina, do you want to get the next one, the MEHAK question?
Yeah, sure. So, and I'm being told I should read the question out loud just so everyone is kind of following along here. So, Mahak is asking, how do you share back the classified data with the organization? And so it's through integration of the S3 bucket typically, though we can support Google and Azure as well. But the metadata is written typically back onto our clients' servers. Yeah, Gokul can go into the details a little bit more, but there are other options.
Yeah, sure. I can
expand on that.
I can help you with that. So when you want to get the export MEHAK, for example, when you click on this export, so all the annotations will be downloaded to your computer. And actually, the annotations will be stored in our databases. But if there is a security requirement from the customer side, so we can just write all the annotations to the customer server as well, customer private S3 bucket as well. So both of the options are available.
Right,
and
I think I don't know if you mentioned this, but all of this functionality, of course, is also available via the SDK and API, so that it can be done programmatically as well.
And here is our documentation, if you are wondering. So all of the functions that I performed on the platform are also available via SDK, so that you don't even have to open up the editor at all, open up the UI at all. If you are just creating a project and uploading data, receiving data, all of them are available via SDK. And also, of course, the ML integration is also available.
Right, and so ML integration, we'll go into this. So this is the next question: is do you support ML integration? That is possible both for pre-labeling and then also for automated QA, and we'll be going over that functionality in our next session. So I think Rishikesh was asking how to connect with us. There is if you're looking for general information, I believe it's info@imerit.net. And then you can also connect with us via medical@imerit.net.
And the next question, I can answer that. So in building a workflow, is the platform flexible enough to have both your annotators and our in-house annotators to be involved in conditional steps? Absolutely. As I showed you, we can carry you. We can also add multiple labeling stages just on this workflow. For example, let's name it, this is the internal labeling, and this is the, let's say, iMerit labeling. So, and we can just combine these together with the logic step. For example, if the data has, I don't know, different annotation types that we are looking for example, if your annotators are expert on something, we can just forward data accordingly. So we can make this flexibility, yeah. And the other question, is there a free trial? How much can we use it for? So yes, Mehak, so the free trial is accessible via iMerit's website. So you can just sign up freely, and you will have 5 seat limits and 100 asset limits. So you can just upload your data right away, and it will have 100 limits. And after that, you need to contact us, and we can just discuss the subscription methods.
Great. This recording will be available for anyone who wants to share it, and we really appreciate everyone attending and the great questions and engagement. We'll reach out following this if you leave behind your email and want to be in contact with us, and also let you know about when we've scheduled the next session, where we'll go over some of the advanced features.
So I just received another question. So Rishikesh, you said that we recently working on tool named GT Studio. Is this similar to this tool? When you say GT Studio, I guess if I remember correctly, it was a tool of payments. I'm not pretty sure. if it is the case, so it can be, yeah, it is similar, but I'm not pretty sure about their 3D annotation and medical site because it's been a while since they were acquired by the TELUS International, if I remember correctly. So their tool is, I guess, kind of private. So I'm not pretty sure about what they are doing in terms of medicals. But yeah, you can say it is similar.
Great, that's it. Please, you can please also know that you can go to the website imerit.net and click the Talk to an Expert, and someone will reach out to you that way. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.